Okay, so my first question is to you, Faith. Hi, Faith. Good morning. Okay. So, Faith, considering that you're a single mom of boys, how do you manage your role well as a mom and also as a full-time career woman / banker?
Good morning. So for me, managing two boys and a job, I can't say that it's the help of God, because I know that we cannot do everything by ourselves. Even as a single person, you cannot do everything by yourself. So, like what she earlier said, I have learned to delegate works. I know that while I'm at work and they are at home, I cannot be in two places at the same time. So I have a house help that helps me with cooking, picking them from school. So I have to always make sure that I'm following up to ensure that she has done the needful. And then when she has done that, I talk to children as well. How was school? Have you done your homework? Not only do it right now, I'm talking to you. So you also ensure that they are doing what they are supposed to do. And then for having a house help, it's a lot of risk that we as single moms have to take. I don't know what they call it. It's just a lot of risk. But while you take risk, ensure that you are taking the right risk. Ensure that you are picking the right house help for your children. So I have picked a lot of house helps. I have let a lot of them go. Why? Because they are not mirroring what I want them to do. So once you notice that this person is not doing what you expect them to do, there's no need to add sentiment of, oh, okay, she's going to change. Oh, you give her a long stretch. I don't do that. I don't take that risk for my children. That's because I know that they are a priority to me. I would always tell the person, please, you can go. This is the time to go. And thank God for the one that I have now. Her name is Justina. She has been a very great help. She's not a perfect person, but she has mirrored she has always mirrored what I want her to do. If I want her to behave, and sometimes she plays some certain songs. I'll tell her, please don't play it around my children. I don't want it. I want them to play this kind of songs. So I'm not surprised when my son will tell me, mommy, play this song, mommy, play Pastor Lucy. Or my son comes to me and says, mommy, I want to be a pastor. They are not surprised to me because they are what I want them to mirror. So they are mirroring it. And then while on the job, I always make sure that I bring my best to my job. My boss always expects the best from me. And then I always ask for feedback. I don't allow I'm a single mom. I'm a human being. And as a human being, you want to grow yourself. I want to grow myself. I don't want to be that mother that my children look at me like, what kind of mother is this? Like, what were you doing when other married women that, you see some married women pushing their career, pushing themselves, and then as a single mom, you don't want to be laid back. You want to push yourself. You want to take yourself to the next level. And then on the job, I also have mentors as well. I have someone that I call my office mother, so that she's always having my back. I'm not alone in everything that I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ifoma. So my takeout from your brief explanation is delegating. But despite the fact that you're delegating, you also need to monitor. You also need to track. Because what you don't monitor, what you don't track gets mismanaged. And then I like the fact that you have a mentor in the office that can even speak for you. And, also kind of cover the gap for you, even times that maybe you need to take time off for the kids and all that. That's very good. Thank you for that feedback. So I'll go to Abimbola. Abimbola, you are a COO in the financial services industry. You're a wife and mother of a toddler. How do you ensure that you compensate your toddler for times that maybe you need to close late at work, or you need to go on a trip, official trip? How do you cover up for that?
Thank you, Minister Lasaki. Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers here. So fortunately for me, or would I say after COVID, work-life balance has improved significantly. So in my workplace, we have a hybrid work system where you have 3 days on site and then 2 days off site and then 3 days in the office. So for days where I have to work late or I'm out of town, I try to compensate with the days I'm at home. So in terms of being present, engaging in activities with my son, picking him up from school, maybe feeding him lunch, those kind of things, just to, make up for the times I'm away from the house. In addition, where, I'm unable to leave work early, I do call the house. So we do video calls, even though he does not really participate, he's running around and he's like, what's going on? Why are you holding me down? But, that call reassures me that everything is fine at home. And then thankfully, I have family at home that, helps in taking care of him. And, that gives me some safety and reassurance that everything is fine. So that's what I do. And then weekends, most times, I'm a homebody. I don't like going out. So, we're at home together, we play together. I've learned how to play football, kicking around things in the house, and then engaging with him just to ensure that he's aware, he knows that he's loved. Mommy is here. If you need anything, you can come to her.
Great, thank you, Abimbola. Okay, Lade. Lade, you're an international student recruiter, and I know for a certain that your job requires a lot of travel. So how do you balance that in the home? How do you, make sure that things are well managed in the home with your husband and with your daughter?
Well, for me, the truth is, to a large extent, I know what my schedule is going to be like for the next 3 months or ahead. So we plan ahead. So when I'm off, when I'm not around, I ensure that I do a lot of communication, we call every now and then. And thankfully, I work 100% remote. So at those times when I'm back home, I ensure I try to quickly cover up any gap and then take care of my babies. And I try as much as possible not to put the travels back to back, except for some travels that come that I cannot avoid, so that I have 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I go on the next trip. That's how I balance it.
Thank you, Omalade. Ifeoma, what would you say or advise, what advice would you give to mothers who are working and they don't have the benefits of the remote work style? How would you advise that they sort? I know you don't work remotely at all. How would you advise they put structures in place?
Okay, like she said, you make calls, you ensure that you make plans, make sure that you are not indecisive. You have to make sure that you are a planner, like she does. Make sure that things are done in advance. Like, you don't come home and there's no food at home. You should have, planned all of that. You ensure that the house help that you have, that is working in your place, cooking in your place when you are not there, she's doing the right thing. Like I said earlier, you're monitoring what she's doing. You're not leaving things to chance. And then you always want to lean on the support that you get from friends and family. Like for me, my sister is married, but I have the advantage of, making use of her at every slightest. When there's a gap I need to fill, like, okay, my house help has gone off, I'll call my sister, please, can you help me pick my children for me and bring them back to the house? And then she will stay, and then when I come back from work, she would go back to her husband's house. That's the advantage that I had, or that I still have. And then sometimes I use my mom. And then sometimes when I'm in church, some people look after my children for me. I allow that, but it's not everybody that I allow to do that work for me. So while people are helping you, you have to ensure that you have your children's back. Like sometimes they'll come out from school and tell me, oh, somebody bullied me in school. Why? Because they called me chubby. I will not ask you, what's the meaning of chubby? What does it mean to you? Try to understand, understand what they are going through in life and try to be supportive. And when they tell me that somebody bullied them in school, I don't just stop there at listening. I take another step further. I go to the school and I make sure that I address it. And I tell the teacher, please make sure that this child, and I'll mention the name so that they take notes, this child doesn't do that to my son again. And then I will tell them, if it happens again, I will come to the class and address the whole class. And I'm very sure you don't want me to do that. So I always make sure that I have my children's back so that they know that there's somebody standing in for them, even if it's just one person. And then they know that my sister is available as well. They can, and my in-law is around, Uncle Dayo. They will always have the access to them. So that's how I've been able to.
So, Ifeoma, before I release you, you're a single mom. What do you do in situations? I know there might be times where you miss the support of a spouse. How do you manage that? What do you do in situations like that?
Okay. For me, how I manage that. Okay, so I have always leaned on Isaiah 54, where God said he's my husband. In the Bible, God says, there is God, there is the husband, and then there's the wife. So when the husband is not in the picture, then you know that you have a senior husband, you have a senior man that is over you. So there's been times that I needed someone to talk to. And I know that the Holy Spirit is always there for me to talk to. And I always hear him. I remember when it first happened, that my husband, when he passed, and I sat down, I was like, so what do you want me to do now? What will I do with my salary? I don't want to cater for 2 boys. And then I heard him say, don't worry, I'll take care of that. And up till then, till now, I can tell you that I am a blessing. I'm a blessing to even the singles. I'm a blessing to the married. And I'm grateful to God for that. And that's because I opened up myself to God's help. I opened up myself to God's love, and that's where I know that marriage is for companionship. You want someone that you can lean on, talk to. God has shown himself in different dimensions in terms of me having friends in church, having friends at home, having friends at work. So there's this friend that I talk to. There's this friend that I can go to when I'm in need of something. When I need leverage, I know I can run to this person. And I know that is God I know that is God in a human form talking to me, telling me that I am around your corner. You are not alone. So that's my message to every single mom. Just know that you are not alone, that God is with you. If you need to talk to someone, make sure that you do it first with God, because he's the one that will direct you to that person that you need to talk to. He's the one to direct to that place you need to go to. So I think God is the ultimate in all of this. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Ifeoma. Thank you. Abimbola, how do you manage? As mothers, sometimes you feel guilty. Maybe you've not been there enough for your child or for your husband. There's a guilt pang that comes once in a while. When that feeling comes, how do you manage it?
So first of all, I talk to myself. He's relatively young. My son is almost 2. So I realized over time that it's personal to me. I think it's psychological to you. The boy does not realize that, you're not there or you haven't done something. However, I check my processes. Where have I failed? Why is there a guilty feeling? Why is it arising? And how can you improve on it? So that's what I do. And I put myself a timeline. Everything is KPI. So it's on a timeline. Do you improve on, his dressing or his hygiene or his food? And put things in place to improve on it. But I would say that in addition to your question, I think what I really fear is anxiety. I read a lot of things online, and you start to worry. Oh, it's not always in your presence. You don't have oversight. When they go to school or when they are out there, something happen, and I think that's what really worries me. But then I realized that I didn't create him. He's a blessing to his parents, to his family, and that with God over him, God watching him, nothing can ever happen to him. Even me being there cannot protect him anyways. But that, I pray over him and ensure that, God goes with him wherever he is, and he will grow up, he will be, great by the grace of God.
Thank you. So coming back to you, Lade, you have a 10-year-old daughter. How do you wear the cap of a teacher and also a friend to her?
Well, over time, I try as much as possible to create room for conversation, like give her a chance to express herself at any time. And that has built trust between myself and I. So between Bimbola and I. So anytime maybe she does anything wrong, I try to sit her down and tell her where she's wrong. That's if I've not beaten her first. And then
thanks for being real.
and then she's just a very special girl. She usually knows and understands when those things go wrong. And before even I go to say, okay, I'm sorry for spanking you, she comes back and say, okay, mommy, I did this and I shouldn't have done it this way. And it's been a blessing. I'm not a perfect mother. I don't even know how to do it, but I know God is the one that takes care of children. That I have known from the beginning, and I continue to trust my family, children in the hands of God to continue to help me raise them, and it's been very awesome.
Okay. Good, thank you. So some final question, and I will go around the three of you. I find that when it comes to helping my children with their homework, academics and all that, I find that I struggle with that a lot. I end up flogging and then I go out of that experience with headache. And I see that the objective of that session eventually is not achieved. So Ifoma, Lade, Abimbola, your children are different age groups. How do you help them with schoolwork?
I don't do it. I don't do it. It's stressful. And I don't know some of the mathematics. And then sometimes I'm teaching her the English. She's telling me, don't pronounce it this way. So that means she knows it. So what we do, so for Bimbola, after she has a lesson teacher who takes her after school and all of that. So thankfully, he assists with homework. But the dad is very particular. Bimbola's dad is very particular about the homework. Not that sometimes he would also do it. He can just come back from work. Abimbola, have you done your homework? Yes, Daddy, I've done it. Can I see it? Okay. He doesn't want to do it, but he still wants to be there.
Helicopter teacher.
Confession is the lesson teacher that assists, except a few times. It's not my strength. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Ifoma.
Okay. For me, before I used to enjoy it, but after a while I said no, I cannot. If not, I will beat you. I enjoy that you are doing maths and I'm learning maths with you. I'm going back to primary school. But when I'm explaining to you and you're not getting it, no. I just call the lesson teacher straight. But what I do is, when they have homework, I will tell them, do it first. And then I look at it later. And then I make corrections. And then I ensure that when the lesson teacher is done, I will call them and ask them, what did the teacher teach you? Can you explain it to me? And then they do that. That's to make sure that I'm not wasting my money, So that's what I always do. There's a teacher in place, and then I monitor and I always check. And I make sure that they do it themselves so that they don't think that when mommy comes back, she will do the homework. No. I don't want them to grow up thinking that they cannot take responsibility. The homework is for them, it's not for me. So that's what I always
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, we are not at that level yet. What we do is color and paint, for now. So
You get there.
life will be easier then. Amen. So come and sit down, come and color. We chase around the house and then we sit down. Thankfully, I have support. My sister-in-law stays with me and she's been wonderful. So when I'm tired, children listen to daddy and auntie better than mommy. Me, he can whine me and cry, and, So we sit him down, we paint, and we are done. Life is easy.
Okay. So, Lade and Abimbola, we've not spoken about, being a mother in relation to also being a wife. How do you mother or mom your husbands? Our husbands are big babies, So how do you mother or mom them?
Okay, so I had my baby early into our marriage. So maybe I did not baby him for a long time before our son came. But I would say that it takes a lot of patience. My husband is very strong-willed. So you can have a conversation and it may not go in the way I want it to go. So I will be patient, I will take a walk or do other things or wait till a number of days, should pass. And then we'll have the conversation again. And usually by that time, you've already sown the seed. That's the first conversation. So you have to have subsequent conversations and you usually end up getting, what I want. So for me, I'll say it takes a lot of patience.
Great. Thank you. Lade?
I don't mother him.
What do you do?
Nothing.
How do you manage him?
Different aspects. So we have it in different aspects. What aspect do you want me to say?
Okay, when your husband is being a baby, you know that it's Oga, you're not a bimbola
My
now.
husband is a baby since when I married him, so I'm used to him. I know I have 2 children in the house, and just
Okay. Are you sure you don't have what to say? Okay, so on a final note, coming from Faith, what advice, what would you want other mothers, single moms, to take home from this session?
So what I would want every single mom to take out of this session is for you to know that you're not alone and that God is with you. God is your husband. Whatever has happened in the past is not your fault, Even if you want to take the blame for it, know that it is not your fault, first of all. And then I would want every single mom to walk in the boldness that God has called you into. God wants you to be bold. God wants you to be confident. God wants you to be beautiful. I did not know that I can look like this, And even as you're married, you can look like this as well, because I know that there are some married women that do not know that they can look like this. So first of all, know that you are a human being. You're a human being, and you need to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, be beautiful, be bold. Do not be ashamed, for God is your husband. He does not want you to walk in shame. He wants you to walk in the boldness that he has called you into. He wants you to be confident of yourself as a human being. And know how to manage your mental health. When you know that something is not working for you, know when to drop it. If somebody is not working for you, know when to tell them no. No is not that I hate you. I don't hate you. I love you, but I love me first of all. And in the whole, in fact, in the whole world, I am the most important here, and I need to take care of myself. And then if you have children, know that they are your responsibility. Nobody will take care of your children the way you would take care of your children. So ensure that you are at the forefront of your children's future. Do not leave them to chance. Do not leave yourself to chance. And embrace the love that God is showing you. in the form of friendship, in the form of your sisters, in the form of your pastors, in the form of your bosses, the friends that you have at work, the friends that you have in church. Embrace that and be happy. And know that your happiness is what matters at the end of the day. Full stop.
Thank you. Thank you, Faith. Lade, final word for mothers.
Final words. It's actually very interesting. It's not easy. It's sweet. It requires a lot of work. And for me, sometimes I actually look at Pastor Bimbo from afar sometimes, and I just sit and I think, Pastor Bimbo is doing this. The fact that she would even go to the office, preach, do online, achieve greatness, do a lot of things. And I'm wondering, where is all this coming from? God, I beg, I don't want that kind of responsibility. It's a lot if I look at it from that angle. I just try to be myself and give what I can give. And the truth is, I'm joyfully married. And we are very, very happy, and things are going well in our own little way. I'm not the perfect mother that wakes up, cooks, packs food for the husband. Oh yeah, this is your food. This. I remember in early, when I first got married, and I was working with my friend Laide then, and then anytime Pastor Bode comes to the office, Pastor Bode will come with cooler, rice, this, every day. And I tried to imitate that for my husband. After 1 week, I stopped. It's like, this is not my area. So it does, what works in their family does not necessarily work in my family. My own family now, we have bread every day. Once my husband comes back, and God really blessed me with them, they love it. I don't have to cook. He will just go to the fridge. Oh, babe, anything in the house. And nothing. He will go to the fridge. He will make bread and Nutella or bread and butter, and it's good to go. So what works for you does not work. Just trust God, and then everything will be all right.
Now I know why Pastor Grillo did not have weight after marriage. Abibola, one final word for mothers.
Thank you. I would say know your strength, know your limitations, but also know how to manage those limitations. So rely on your network, and also have people that mentor you. It may not be, a close relationship, but that you can look forward to. I think Lade has mentioned Pastor B. And I said to myself, my sister has 3 boys, my mom had 4 kids, my mother-in-law had 5 children. So me with one, you can do it, so rely on whatever assistance that you can get, whether it's from your external staff or from your family, because it makes life easy for you. I think Minister Toyin had also mentioned that, if you're well, you'll be able to give even more. So also take time to rest. Because if you think you're the only one that can, do it, or you must be the one that must do it, then at the end of the day, you'd get exhausted. So rely on your network, rely on people that you trust, and then also give your all to your children.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you for your time. On a final note, I'll say, as mothers, as wives, also let's be sensitive to our environments, especially in the home. Be able to read your children, be able to read your husband, what's going on. Like yesterday when I got home later in the evening, I noticed that my husband was, somehow, when they are not happy and all that. I had to go and meet him. Babe, what's up? What's going on? Because I came back, he expected, church you guys have finished service since now. And you are not back till now. And when I even got back, I was in the car making someone called me, so I was in the car making some calls. So he now said, you came back. I was looking out for you, looking at the window to see when the car would drive in. And then you came back, you sat in the car, you were gisting, they finished service since, you didn't come back. I said, sorry. And we, just be sensitive. Imagine if I had just ignored that. I'm tired, Jerry, and I've gone to You know, it will be something that will spill over till today. And then unconsciously, things start piling up. And then suddenly the man reacts. And you'll be wondering, what did I do? What went wrong? Babe, you've done something since that you didn't address. So let's be sensitive to our children, to our spouses. And God will always help us. Thank you, everyone.